welcome to another episode of Dial It Up. So for today, we have one more episode in regards to some new things that have come out with the Batman animated sets. This is going to be a quick little episode for you guys, but I did see a lot of comments come up in regards to it with this new release. So I am going to teach you guys today about obscuring terrain. This is something that actually did come out in the rulebook and pack back last year in August, so almost a year ago now. But this set of maps from the Batman starter set is the first time that we have actually seen this terrain on a map. So I'm going to flip this down to the map, show you guys what that terrain looks like and what the rules are in regards to it. So, all right, so now that we have our map out, we're going to talk about obscuring terrain. So this was something that did get entered into the rules back in August of 2017 in the pack and rulebook when the entire pack and rulebook got updated. And we haven't actually seen it on a map until now. That this is the Gotham City Downtown Outdoor map. This is from the Batman Animated Series starter set. You do get 4 maps in that starter set. They are fantastic maps, definitely worth picking up. Now, what you'll notice, you might see something new on this map, and that is these squares here that are outlined in white. This is considered obscuring terrain. Now, if you look at the pack, now this is the pack that came in the Batman Animated Series starter set, so it does have a little bit of new things that the Mighty Thor pack didn't have. So down here you see the white line is obscuring terrain. Do we actually get an explanation of that on the pack? Okay, since we don't have it in the pack, we're going to pick out the rulebook. So this is the rulebook from, again, the Batman Animated Series starter set. And I'm going to bring this up. This is obscuring terrain. You can find it on page 20 under terrain. So obscuring terrain, it is a subset of hindering terrain that represents areas that are persistently foggy, steamy, very dark, or similarly obscured to vision. It is indicated by a white boundary line. Obscuring terrain is considered hindering terrain for line of fire purposes only. It is not considered hindering terrain or a clear line or a clear square for any other effect. Movement, obscuring terrain does not impede movement in any way. Line of fire, same as hindering terrain. And then their little tip here in the black border. A character only stops moving when it moves from terrain that isn't hindering for movement into terrain that is hindering for movement. This means that a character beginning its move in hindering terrain can move into a square of water terrain without needing to stop, because both types of terrain are hindering for movement purposes. So that kind of gives you up here it says the water terrain, so that's going to give you a little bit on that. Now, they do mention that it is not hindering terrain for movement. So this is kind of like the reverse of water terrain, where we see up here for movement, it's the same as water terrain, but then line of fire, it doesn't impede your line of fire in any way, whereas this, the movement is the same, it doesn't impede movement, but then is the same as hindering. So what that means is that when you are trying to draw a line of fire through a square of obscuring terrain, your character is going to get +1 to defense. And if they have an ability like stealth, you're not going to be able to see them. So this, of course, being the Gotham City Downtown, we have a big section here. This is only a small part of the map, but everywhere there's like these buildings and alleys. It's really dark or foggy or steamy. If you think back to like the Tim Burton Batman movies, they did a lot of this kind of visual effect for the city, is that you're not going to be able to see. This is a good place for people to hide. Now, again, this isn't going to stop you from moving. So you can move freely through this area. This is elevated here, this is elevated here. So move freely through here, but as a stealth character, you can hide here. Or if you're occupying this, you're going to get +1 to your defense for a ranged attack, because it's going to act like hindering terrain. Now, in that respect, because it is acting like hindering terrain for line of fire, if you do have a character that has improved targeting, ignore hindering, that's going to include obscuring terrain, as it is a subset of hindering terrain. So instead of having them kind of, and we may see it because we have seen it with water, instead of them including a improved targeting ignore white, improved targeting ignore green, hindering is going to let you see through stealth here and not give your opponent that +1 to their defense, as for line of fire purposes, this is hindering terrain. So like I said, it works the opposite as water, because when you have improved movement hindering, that also works for water terrain. Now, there are certain characters that do have improved movement blue, ignore water, because that is a specific type of, you see like Killer Frost had this, and there's a couple of flashes that have it where it allows them to walk on water freely, but then they don't ignore like bushes or this car here or this ATM because it's hindering terrain. So that's basically all that obscuring is, but I did see a fair amount of people bring it up because, hey, brand new something on the map that we haven't seen before. Even though it's been in the rulebook for almost a year now, this is the first time we get to see it in play, so I can't wait to actually play this map out and get some stealthy characters in here, especially those stealthy characters that don't also ignore hindering for movement. They can move freely while still being hidden, and I think it's a fantastic addition to our maps. So that was obscuring terrain. Like I said, a quick little episode to let you know what that terrain looked like and what rules are in regards to it. But if you guys do have any comments, questions, or concerns, just let me know down below, and we'll see you guys next time for another episode of Dial It Up.